All right, I want to give my quick thoughts on Bleach. Bleach, the return of Bleach. Bleach has been my favorite anime. It's the first time I discovered it. My top five has fluctuated, but that number one spot will never change because Bleach blew me away. And the thing is, like, I got into Bleach super late. I was in sophomore year of college, and I sprained my ankle, and I couldn't play ball. I couldn't go to class. So I was just in my room all the time, and that's when watching anime on the internet for free was a bigger thing, or was more of a new thing, but it was easier to access without streaming services. And I just binged Bleach from the beginning. Not even from the beginning, because I binged it from the first episode that I caught on Adult Swim. And I binged it from there. Well, this is not be a quick thoughts. I'm already over a minute. I'm about to be over a minute. But yeah, I binged it from the episode I caught. The first episode I saw was Renji versus Byakuya. He did his Bankai, and I was like, what the fuck? So Bankai's like the Super Saiyan form, because like back then I wasn't as heavily into anime. I mean, I watched a good amount of anime back then, but Dragon Ball Z was always a formula I followed. And a lot of animes follow that formula, so I was like always making that comparison. Transformation, Super Saiyan. They have multiple transformations. It's like multiple Super Saiyans. I always equivalent to that. But anyway, yeah. So when he got his Bankai, I was like, oh, this shit's kind of fire, right? So I was like, I gotta keep watching this. So I went on my computer, I started fucking look up episodes, and I watched it in Japanese, which I didn't do that often back then. I was more just watch English. Like the only thing I watched in Japanese was Dragon Ball back then and Naruto. Everything else I watched in English. Everything. Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, Full Metal Alchemist. What else did I watch back then? I didn't watch a lot of anime back then. Yeah, I was binging that shit. Then I got to Ichigo getting his Bankai, and like, what got me was like this. It's kind of Dragon Ball Z, like, because they have super strength, super speed, and they can fly, right? But they use swords, and if anybody who knows me knows I'm obsessed with ninjas and samurais. So katanas and ninja blades, you sold me automatically if somebody has that. So the fact that everybody has a katana, but it's like a super katana, and then whenever they go through the transformations, it's always some unique shit. Not just the powers, but the designs. And then as Bleach just kept going, it just got better. Most of all, what sold me also was Ichigo. Because in every anime I watch, I never liked the main character. I kind of like Naruto, though, but I preferred Sasuke, and most of all, I preferred Itachi and Obito and Madara. I was obsessed with Obito. Dragon Ball Z, I couldn't stand Goku. I like Goku in Dragon Ball, but when Dragon Ball Z came out, I hated Goku. I was a Piccolo, Gohan, Vegeta fan. That's how I always am. So Bleach was the first anime where I was all about the protagonist. I didn't give a fuck about nobody else. I did like all the characters, because honestly, even though I like Ichigo, Kenpachi's my favorite. But it was Ichigo that got me sucked in, because I'm like, wow, like here's a main character who's not some little bitch ass nigga who wants his friendship, and I want to make new friends, and I don't want to kill. He wasn't doing none of that shit. He was just fucking niggas up and getting more brolic every time. And his first fight with Byakuya, not his first fight, his rematch with Byakuya, to me that was the first fight. It was the first one I saw. I was like, this shit is fire, bro. He's holding it down with him right now with his Bankai. And then when Aizen revealed himself, that's when I really got sucked in, because like I said, I was obsessed with Obito and Madara. Every anime, like every good anime, the bad guys always just become my favorites, because anime just writes the best of villains. It just writes, because they just feel like anti-heroes who went too far, honestly. They don't really feel like villains to me. So like, Aizen, man, like my favorite villains of all time are Aizen and Obito. And Aizen was just the shit, because he was just this really nice, soft, smart guy who pretended to be murdered, and it turned out he was faking everything, and he was pure evil, and he was fucking pulling all the strings since before Ichigo was born, bro. Like, and I just got sucked in. So anyway, enough of my past. So I just love Bleach. Bleach has always been my favorite. And with the return of Bleach, holy shit, man. First of all, this new animation, this new art style is fucking gorgeous. And it's consistent. The animation is consistent. The art style is consistent. It doesn't dip. Like, even the old Bleach was pretty consistent. The first half of Bleach was a very different art style and animation from the second half of Bleach. But whatever art style they choose, whatever animation they use, it's always consistent, which you didn't get in Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. Naruto was inconsistent. Dragon Ball Z was so inconsistent. Yu Hakusho was inconsistent. Inuyasha was pretty consistent. But Bleach was just always consistent. So this new one with like this new quality, this shit is so consistent. And I just love the way they're telling the story because, I mean, I don't remember a lot because I read this arc a long time ago, maybe over 10 years ago. Yeah, it's been like over 10 years, I think. So like it's all like brand new to me again. But as I'm watching it, I'm remembering shit. I'm like, man, they're skipping a lot of shit. But at the same time, like, the way they're pacing, the things they're choosing to skip over, I'm not bothered by what they're skipping over, and the pacing isn't bothering me because they're giving me everything I want in this one season. I was kind of disappointed that it was only 12 episodes because the way I remember Bleach would just go, 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 episode after episode after episode. But I guess that's because they had all those fillers, which thank God this doesn't have any fillers. But without fillers, you have to have season endings, season beginnings to season endings. So it was only 12 episodes, but I am so happy, man. My man Ichigo's back. But most of all, my man Kenpachi, my favorite, he didn't get to shine that much, really, because, like, you see him, like, he defeated somebody, but you didn't, it was off screen. Then he goes charging after Yawak. He fucks up a lot of the other niggas. But then, next thing you know, next time you see Yawak, he already defeated Kenpachi, which pissed me off, but whatever. I knew it was coming with Kenpachi. I know how brawly he's gonna be. And, like, to see him train with Unohana, I was waiting for that. That, I felt they did too fast. I felt like that should have been at least 2 episodes. But I was still happy to finally see it, because I remember I used to read the manga, and my cousin didn't, and I would always tell him, I was like, yo, Kenpachi isn't even the first Kenpachi. Remember the medical bitch? She was the first Kenpachi. She's a beast. So for him to finally watch that shit, he was hyped. I was telling this nigga about that shit. Just so glad Bleach is back. I kept telling people, I was like, yo, Bleach is gonna come back. It was too successful to not come back. I kept saying it. Motherfuckers didn't want to believe me. It took mad long. It took what, 12 years? 12 years to come back? 11 years? Well, 12, 11 years to come back. But it's back, and I'm happy.